What's up, Infected? It's Wolf of the Quarantine, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a game that's currently on Kickstarter seeking funding by the name of Dig, along with its expansion, Dig Dragon. Now, Dig is a push-your-luck dungeon crawling game, essentially, and the Dragon expansion pretty much just builds upon that. You are like a guild of mercenaries that are trying to dig deeper and deeper into the earth, trying to uncover gems, these very special purple gems as well, and whoever gets 5 is going to be declared the winner. But throughout the course of the game, you're going to be acquiring, rare gemstones such as diamonds and rubies, but then you're also going to be amassing gold as well to be able to hire more workers and more adventurers to go down into the dungeon with your workers in order to protect them from things such as ghosts, goblins, skeletons, and sometimes a big bad dragon in the case of the Dragon expansion. So enough of my rambling, let's head on over to the overview. Alright, now what you see here is basically Dig set up and ready to go, along with the Dragon expansion. Now, the game is very, very simple. When on your turn, you're going to choose whether you want to dig inside your galleries or outside. So of course, your beginning turn, you're only going to dig outside. So when you dig, you're going to draw a card, look at it, and then you're going to decide whether you want to put it, and this is only if you dig out, whether you want to put it in your treasure hand, which you just basically is a hand of cards in front of you, whether you put it in your treasure pile, or whether you start a gallery. So in this case, maybe I want to start a gallery. So I'll put this right here. Then your opponent would do the same thing. So when it comes back to you, now that you have a gallery, you can choose to dig in your gallery or out. If you choose out, you're going to do the exact same thing you did last time. You're just going to draw a card, and alright, I'm going to keep this. Or if I had another worker like this, you can just start another gallery. So let's say I did another gallery. Now, at the beginning of your turn, before you go in, these little gemstones here, if you ever get 5 of them, you can just get another worker. If you ever get 8, you can get a specialist, which is specifically for the Dragon expansion. But the reason why I showed you this is that you can also choose to dig in. Now if you dig in, you have to draw 1 card for every gallery you have. So I would have to draw 1, and then I would have to draw 2. Now, if it's anything but gemstones like this, you're going to refer to the player sheet that refers to all of the different things. So in this case, this is going to go back to the village and the entire gallery collapses and these go into the discard pile. Now your ultimate goal is to get 5 cards down. Once you've uncovered 5 cards, so let's just say this is what has happened here. That is a grand total of 5 cards. You're going to put a gem at the very bottom of this gallery. Now on your turn, instead of digging in or out, you can choose to close your gallery. You'll keep your worker, pick all of these up that now get to go to your treasure, which is really cool, but even more important, you now get a purple gem. The first 1 to 5 points wins. Now, you may notice here, this is the village. Some of these require very specific gems. So if we look at our hand here, we have 1 diamond and we have 2 gold. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and recruit this guy. So he would always thwart off thieves, and I get a purple gem for doing so, which can be really handy if you're having problems running into thieves. Now, one of the things that the new Dragon expansion adds are these tiles. Now, the way these tiles work, now once you've drawn this tile, you're going to take the Dragon deck and you're going to draw a card out of it if you decide to enter the Dragon's lair. Now, if you don't, you just discard it and draw a new card to replace it. So in this case, I drew a red emerald here. It's got 4 of the gems up there, so I can continue to draw if I want, or I can go, nope, I'm good, and just keep this, go straight to your treasure pile. But then in this case, say I want to keep going, and you can keep doing this until you decide you want to stop. Now, it's a push your luck mechanic, because there are 3 dragon cards in this deck. Once you've drawn one, all of the cards you drew that turn go into the discard pile and you get nothing. So it's all about how much do you want to push that luck. And as you see here, there's a wide variety of items, and these are only some of them that come in this game. And they all do different things, such as, this is basically just a purple gem. There's 5 of them in the deck. This is a thief, and it does something special depending on what this says. And then there's items that you can get that you can wind up using in your dungeon or on your opponent, such as blowing up their dungeon or stealing their last card and taking any gems that may be on it. So if you know that your opponent happens to have one of those, which I'm going to see if I can find, for example, this. Now, if the way this one works is especially nasty, if I have 5 cards, they go down. You know, on my turn, I decided to dig in, put my 5th card down, and boom, it's got a nice purple gem on it. My opponent could play this if they have it in their hand, play it, steal the last card, which also any gems on it go with it. So that means my opponent would have just gotten 1 extra gem at my expense. The game continues on like this until one player has 5 purple gems, then that player will be declared the winner. And that is Dig and Dig Dungeon. So what do I think about the game? Well, let's start with the artwork. I really like the pixel style artwork. You know, being somebody like me who I grew up with the NES, the Super NES, the Sega Master System, and the Sega Genesis. That was pretty much my childhood. So I like the pixel art in the game. Everything is very retro looking and retro feeling. So the artwork is really, really nice. I like that. Then moving on to the mechanics, I'm a little conflicted about how I feel about this game. Now, I'm going to put out there right now, I do not like this game. However, I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. It's not my style of game. I am not very big on push your luck games, but I can see that there's a lot of good here. A lot of the players that I played with, they thoroughly enjoyed the game, and even though I do not like this style of game, I can still see what makes this game fun. Now, the first biggest thing that this game does right is it's super simple to play. Very, very simple. You dig in or you dig out, that's it. There's a few of the item cards that are a little confusing on how they work, such as the dungeon door. Like, what if that's your 5th card? Does that mean it basically just gets 2 gems? And there's a few things like that you're gonna kind of scratch your head and go, wait, so how does this work? But for the most part, the game is super, super easy. Very basic. Your turns go back and forth really, really, really quick. So that is definitely going to appeal to a lot of people. However, if you're like me, you don't like push your luck games, you probably are going to want to shy away from this because the game is pretty much all luck. Which kind of leads to my biggest downfall from the game is I can play push your luck games. I actually thoroughly enjoy a couple of them, one of which I'm going to show in just a second. It's the first one I can think of off the top of my head because it's actually right there. But with this one, I like push your luck games that allow you to mitigate some of the luck. Like, I get it's part of the mechanic that it's push your luck. There's going to be luck. But I like games that allow me to manage that even just a smidgen. And one of those is, which I have here, Queen of the Hill. Queen of the Hill does push your luck better, in my opinion, because what's going to happen with this game, happens every time, not every time, but you'll get the idea, is your first card screws you. There's nothing you could have done about it. You have, 3 or even 2 or even 1 gallery, and you're just trying to dig to the bottom. You draw 1 card, you dig out, you draw 1 card, and go, okay, I'll start a gallery. And then comes back around to you, and you go, I'm digging in. Avalanche. Sucks to be you, bro. And that drives me crazy. The way Queen of the Hill does it, I'm actually listening to that audiobook, so that's the reason that came off the tongue. But the way Queen of the Hill does it is if your first card drawn is a card that's going to make you lose, you can discard it, draw another card. Or shuffle it back in and draw another card. And which I understand that would not work with this because of the way digging in works. It's something like that is how, if a game has something like that, allows you to mitigate, because there's nothing worse than your whole turn is ruined just because you had a bad draw. And that can happen a lot. One of the games that I played for like 4 turns in a row, it was dig in, oh look, a bad guy. Okay, you dig in, oh look, a ghost. Oh, I dig in, oh look, an avalanche. So it kind of brings the fun factor in the game down. But like I said, I understand that is my personal opinion. The majority of people who played this, including my wife, thoroughly enjoy it. So there's a lot of good here. Even me not really enjoying the game, I could see what makes it fun. And then when you add that dragon deck in, which has its own flaws, which I'll get to in a second. You add that, it adds a little bit more of that push your luck element, but a more extreme version, which I actually enjoyed, given the fact that the game is already all luck. Because now, rather than drawing one card, you just get to keep drawing until you want to stop, or until you get a dragon, which leads me to my problem. It's very easy to game that. There are 3 dragon cards in the deck, and according to the rules, if you draw a dragon card, all the cards you drew, including the dragon card, goes to the discard pile. And that means, in the event that I see that all 3 have been discarded and there are still cards in that dungeon, which happens quite a bit, then if I pull a door, because there's not just 3 doors for the 3 dragons, there's like 6 or 8 doors, something like that. So if I see that all 3 of those are in there and I pull a door, I just don't stop digging. I just get all of the coins. That's it. And I feel that that was maybe an oversight. I'm thinking maybe only the dragons should shuffle back in, because once you get to the point where you can now game that system, whoever draws the next dragon door probably just won the game, because they're going to have enough money to buy all of the recruits that they want, all of the specialists, and everything. And then it just occurred to me, I actually didn't explain how those specialist miners work. Basically, they're just like a normal worker, except no other workers can be put into the same area as they are, and they cost 8, and you get 2 gems instead of 1. But other than that, that's really it. So maybe me not liking the game is just not understanding the style, or I don't really know. But like I said, I'm just not normally a big fan of push your luck games, but it is a good game. So if you are interested in push your luck style games, definitely check this one out. It's super simple. You can play it with the kids, and it is a good, lighthearted, fun game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.